his fans and the media had high hopes for this player, but despite all the potential, for some, he never really met it. For me, he was a workman-like player, played almost 700 games in the NHL, became kind of a go-to guy for certain defensive strategies the teams were playing on, for the teams he was playing on. Now, Tim Ecclestone was a major prospect for a number of years. He was a teammate of Ken Dryden on the 1963-64 Etobicoke Junior A team he was drafted from by the Rangers, second round, ninth overall. Now, born in Toronto, 5'10", 195. He eventually completed 11 seasons in the NHL from 1967 until 1968. He had 126 goals and 203 helpers for 359 points and hit the 50-point mark twice in his career. Now, again, with the Junior B team, the Etobicoke Indians, he was one of the highly scouted prospects at the time. Now, he was only taken at the age of 17. He played one more season in the junior ranks, this time with the Kitchener Rangers Junior A side. Ecclestone then eventually signed with the Rangers following the 67 season with Kitchener. However, his rights were traded to St. Louis following the 67 NHL expansion draft. Now, he eventually played 3 seasons with the Blues before management became unhappy with Unger-Berenson's association with the NHLPA and cleaned house. Since Ecclestone had some involvement with the union, the Blues decided to trade him to the Red Wings. The Wings at the time were perennial losers, and after 4 seasons in Detroit, Ecclestone requested to be traded. The Wings accompanied his request. He was shipped off to Toronto, and following the shoulder injury second season with the Leafs, they traded him to the Capitals, who would then exchange him to the Atlanta Flames on the same day. Now, following the knee injury during the 78 season, he served as an assistant coach for the Flames. He then retired at the end of the season, but remained with the Flames as an assistant coach until he relocated to Calgary in 1980. Now, he remained in the Atlanta area following the departure of the Flames as part owner of the sports bar named Timothy John's Restaurant and Lounge in Sandy Springs, a restaurant he helped open during his years as an assistant coach. Now, in 1990, he opened his own sports bar called TJ Sports Bar and Grill in Alpharetta, Georgia. Now, again, he was part of some interesting trades for years, and we'll let you know here. He was traded by the Rangers with Gary Saber and Bob Plager and Gordy Kannegeezer to St. Louis in exchange for Rod Searling immediately following the 67 expansion draft, in which the Blues selected Searling from the Rangers roster. At the time of the trade, he had again 1 year of eligibility left. Now, the Berenson trade was to Detroit in exchange for Gary Unger and Wayne Connolly, which of course changed St. Louis's fortunes. Now, on November 28, 73, he was traded to Detroit by Toronto in exchange for Pierre Jarry, and then traded by Toronto with Willie Brossard to Washington in exchange for, guess who, Rod Searling. Now, he's eventually traded by Washington and Atlanta in exchange for future considerations. Now, he's also the nephew of legendary Canadian softball pitcher Cam Ecclestone, so the sports level is quite strong in him. Now, he was an OHA All-Star second team with Kitchener in 67, and also played again on the first St. Louis Blues team. He also made it to the Stanley Cup Finals with them in 68, 69, 70, and also won St. Louis's Most Improved Player in 1970. It was also an All-Star for St. Louis in 71. Now, he also had an assist on Atlanta's final goal of the 78 regular season, scored by Bobby Simpson at Washington on April 9, 78. It was also the last regular season game of his career. Now, what really hampered him as well was injuries. Now, he missed first 3 games of the 71 season with a hairline fracture in his ankle, suffered in training camp in September 1970 for the Blues. Again, a hairline fracture in his right foot, suffered in Detroit's January 9, 29 game versus LA in 72. He missed part of the 75-76 season with sprained ligaments in his knee, an injury suffered against St. Louis. He did not return to action until February 6, it was a month out. He also had a leg injury 77 season and missed most of 78 with stretched ligaments in his right knee, suffered during Atlanta's October 21st game for the Islanders, which put him out for almost 4 months. Now, WHA was high on him as well. He was drafted by the Nationals in the 72 draft in February of that year. Now, he was also strong in the hockey school level as he worked in Toronto player guidance camp in his off seasons and his playing days. Now, he also was -1 in overtime when Bobby Orr scored the Stanley Cup winner in 1970. Now, he was also heavy in his family's dry cleaning business during off seasons of his playing days. Now, why Ecclestone got a lot of press in Toronto, he played on a line with Dave Keon during the 73-74 season, and was also big friends with Evel Knievel during his playing days. Now, mostly a penalty killer with Atlanta. Of course, his partner on the 4-on-5s was a great Bill Clement. Now, he's also a near-scratch handicap in golf as well, and was also a member of the Toronto St. George's golf club. Now, for a lot of people, again, that best season was for a lot of people was 1971. We had 19 goals and 53 points in split duty with St. Louis and Detroit. 72 had 53 points and 18 goals. But what really stood out for a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, was the playoff runs for St. Louis in 68, 69, 70. He played 40 games in the postseason in those three campaigns with 14 points, including 6 goals. So again, also he played some time with the Tulsa Oilers as well at the tail end of his career. So he's part of that vaunted franchise. Again, 126, 233, 359, 692 games. And again, spot duty with Toronto over 2 seasons, but I think Harold Ballard was expecting a Gary Unger to arrive in town, and Ecclestone, again, a very good offensive player when need be, but a defensive stalwart. But for a lot of people, like they felt he had a lot of potential to be a perennial 20-goal-a-year scorer, but injuries hampered him. He never played full seasons, and like the bad press from Unger-Berenson, didn't help him, as we like to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any vintage podcast suggestions, you know, I'm always fascinated by trades, why certain players are traded. There's different background. Could be money, could be union, could be romantic entanglements. But that the Unger-Berenson deal, that's pretty freaky. Maybe that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. Good question. Thanks for listening. Bye.